Hello and welcome to BookGames Spectator. Today we're going to be talking about everything that goes into what a stream of consciousness related to understanding how I think about book games and book game spectating. So first, let's start with what are book games. BookGames is an NFT project from VFriends. And as we can see, we're taking a look at different types of the specific website published January the 10th, 2022. Everything you need to know about book games token rarity. And that's the real crux of what book games are. Like a crowdsourcing arbitrage in terms of price discovery based on Ethereum. So we're going to take a look at the price of Ethereum. This is what Ethereum is doing. This is the 5-year. This is the 1-year. 5-year. Max. So it's always important to understand where in terms of Ethereum's price are you at when dealing with book games. For a large part of this series, I'm going to be spending it on this page, the BookGames token count supply sheet, because you want to burn into your mind what these different rarities are. So it's hard for me to start this off. It's like I want to give us a baseline for stipulating, okay, well, we're talking about book games, but what does that mean? How does anybody even know what a book game is, what an NFT token is, all of this stuff? So I'm going to assume that you have some baseline of knowledge and insight in terms of the cryptocurrency markets in general versus book games tokens in general. But don't hesitate. If you think I left too deep of a gap, let me know and I can go back and clarify just what it is that I'm talking about when it comes to what it means to book games spectate. So book game spectating, since this is the first episode, it's about taking a look at the rarities and finding market arbitrage opportunities in terms of misplaced value. That's the real fun in book games. It's to say, how much is the floor, how much is the ceiling, and I'm talking in terms of micro and macro. The floor in terms of what the current floor is, and then the ceiling in terms of all-time price discovery. How much did these tokens go for in their historical cadence or context? Now we're starting here and we're scrolling through and we're looking through on book games on Token Trove. This is the main website that we use to define book games rarity. So we start and we're taking a look at the token count supply sheet. And again, this might mean nothing to you right now if you're just jumping in, but this is a visualization for this. We're talking about what is an empathy drink it? What is a curiosity see it through? What is a love of optimism? What is a patience helps you get fed instead of slaughtered? What is your ability to be accountable counts? Humility is delicious. Self-awareness. Kindness over everything. Kind fucking candor. Ambition at the highest level. Tenacity helps get you there. Tenacity helps you get there. Gratitude is the attitude. Conviction helps you grow. And then the three special book games tokens all with a different token count labeled in green here. Koala 2025, Paper Hands Pony, Time Machine, Tiny Ogre. Yeah, I just realized it's 2025. What's going on with the koalas? Paper Hands Pony, Time Machine, Tiny Ogre, and then the BookGames frame rarity. So then you get to see. But for somebody jumping in, they might say, I have no idea what any of this means. Well, then we start with BookGames collection properties on Token Trove. So it's saying, okay, in Token Trove, after you select the BookGames collection, you will notice token property filters on the left-hand side to select for each, similar to looking at an individual collection on OpenSea. Let's see defined below. Okay, so if you can take a look here, this is sorted by sale time, and this is sorted by listing time. This is my core anchor that I use when BookGames spectating. There will always, for me, be at one tab with the listing time so that I can refresh for what we describe as snipes. Somebody just listing the token as soon as possible, and then it's up to you to use your market knowledge to figure out how valuable is this token, because sometimes we'll have time to sit and wait and analyze a token's value, but sometimes a snipe comes through and you need to know as soon as possible its value so that you can quote unquote snipe this token. And then it's about seeing the recently sold, what has been sold most recently, and how does this apply to the overall marketplace in terms of the floor. And we'll just double check. And normally I don't have a tab open for the floor. I just changed the listing price in between refreshing to the floor but this is a whole nother separate video in terms of getting you started and set up. In this context, we're just spending this first video to understand, hey, okay, so what are we doing when we're changing attributes? What are we doing when we're changing series, spectacular, and token frames? All you really need to worry about is the attribute, spectacular, and the token frame. The attribute right here on the left hand side, the spectacular, the top, and then the token frame was right above. So this combinatoric multiplier is what gives the book games their different rarities. You start with the attribute. The attribute right here is the artwork, and then you have the spectacular, lava, gold, bubblegum, diamond, hollow. And then you have the token frame. So you can get a kindness over everything in lava, a kindness over everything in hologram. You can get a gratitude is the attitude in lava, a gratitude is the attitude in hologram. And it's not just going to be that, it's going to be denominated based on one of the frame rarities that's included for each section. Now we don't know the actual, like, what it's divisible by, but we do know that these are the percentages for the total. Does that make sense? Including the different supply of book games, artwork, spectacular rarities. There are also 15 different frames with their own corresponding rarity. Okay, so the attribute. The attribute section has all 13 artwork attributes available to select and filter to view as a special attribute, which has, okay. The attribute section has all 13 artwork attributes available to select and filter to view, as well as a special attribute which is specific to the 3 special artwork tokens. So that's this up here, the special characters. They don't get their own individual attribute, they just get the special character, which for the analytics you might say, hey, is that cool? But that's neither here nor there. Structuring the attributes, okay? So that's the attributes, those 13 plus 3, 13, 14, 15, 16 different artworks. 16 different artworks. Okay, so after the attribute, you go to the series, BookGames Spectator. The Spectator section has 5 spectacular backgrounds available to select and filter to view. Same listed above in the character/background rarity section. So we have lava, gold, bubblegum, diamond, hollow. 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 Again, basing these differentiated artworks and spectaculars and frames. So again, we'll go into it deeper, but you have to understand the language first as we're starting in. Okay, so next we have, so we just went through the spectaculars: lava, gold, bubblegum, diamond, hollow. Token frames. The token frame section has all 15 frames according to their rarity. The most common frame is wood, 13.7%, and the most rare frame is champagne, 0.5%. And then you have the VFriends count, and most importantly, the combination of 16 original artworks, 5 spectacular rarities, and 15 different frames creates a combinatoric possibility of 1,200 different book game rarity types. I repeat, the combination of 16 original artworks, 5 spectacular rarities, and 15 different frames creates a possible combination of 1,200 different book games rarity token types. Book game token rarity types. Now take the time to learn and understand the different rarities and requirements on the BookGames exchange and enjoy the games. So that's really, in many respects, the point of this channel, is to walk you through how I think about BookGames spectating, to be able to impart my knowledge and wisdom as a spectator, to figure out how do we create a baseline to understand what we're looking at, in general or specific. This right here is the wood frames. All attributes, all spectacular, token frame wood. This is the floor. Actually, let's leave this. Let's close out this video by looking at the floor. Today is Monday. Today is Monday, August the 18th at a little past 5 a.m. This is the floor for BookGames. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments section. This has been BookGames Spectator, entry number 1, jumping in.